Welcome to Part 2, Competency 13. In this video, we will work with geometric properties of lines and circles. Number 1, using the figure below, if arc BMC, all right, let's highlight that, this arc right here, equals 238 degrees. So let's put 238 right here. What is the measure of A? So this would be angle A right here. Okay? All right. So the property that they're talking about is, first off, because we have a major arc that takes up the majority of the circle, and then we have this minor arc right here, because all the circle is being utilized. We know this. I know that in order to get angle A, this is what we need. Angle A equals, okay, this 238 minus 360 minus the 238. Okay, I can move this 238 over, so I'll just rewrite all that. Okay, minus 238, and this whole thing here is 238. Let's go back and highlight that like we had it. Okay, so we're using two arcs, okay? So, oh, and I managed to do that. Okay, so what am I doing here? The only way to get the green arc that we have, I have to take 360 and subtract the yellow arc, and that'll give me that value. Now, what we're really doing is taking the yellow arc minus the green arc, divide by 2, and that gives us that angle measure that we need. Okay, so let's see what that does. We can just put all that in the calculator, okay? So 238 minus, in parentheses, 360 minus 238, close parentheses. And that is correct. I'm going to push enter because we have an order of operations issue. So push enter and just divide by 2. And it's 38 degrees is this measure here. I mean, not 38, 58 degrees. If I didn't say that, that's what I meant. Okay. All right. All right, now let's look at number 2. Using the figure below, if the angle D, if that angle equals 24 degrees and GE equals, arc GE equals 30 degrees. Okay, so we're using this arc right here, right? What is the measure of FH? Okay, so let's color code this. Okay. All right, so let's color code it so we know what we're looking at. Okay, so what do I need there? I know that what I need to do is add those, because look at the difference. Let's look at the difference. In number 1, we use the entire circle. In number 2, we are not using the entire circle. We're using 2 arcs that are just segments of the circle. So this means that I add the 2 arcs, I add the green and the yellow, and then divide by 2, and that gives me 24. Okay, so let me lay that out for us. Okay, so what do I really have? I'm going to call the green arc X. So I have X plus 30 divided by 2, and that will give me 24. So in order to find the value of x, which is what I'm looking for, I need 24 times 2 minus 30. So let's put this in the calculator and see what happens. Oh, I've made a mistake. I am so sorry. We are subtracting. Okay, we are subtracting. It's x minus 30. Okay, just like we did before, but our arcs are smaller. Okay, so this means I'll be adding 30 here. Big difference. Okay. Parentheses, 24 times 2, close our parentheses, and we add the 30, and that will equal 78. And that is what we're looking for. Okay. Number 3. Now this is very different. Our angle center is on the circle. So before we had 2 rays where they met. The vertices of the rays here, point D on this one right here, that point D is outside the circle. Uh-oh. I did not mean to do that. I want this. Okay. This point D, well, if I could get what I want, it seems to be kind of not. Okay. Well, if I could get my technology to work, all would be well. Okay. So we want to focus on the fact that this angle is on the circle, our point B. So using the figure below, if AB is 128 degrees, okay, notice that that's from A to B. And then we have our B to D being 144 degrees, okay? What is the measure of angle B? And because of how these segments or their chords are cutting up the circle, that each endpoint is on the circle, I know that this segment here in green, if I take that and divide it by 2, I will get the angle measure of B. Okay? All right. Well, how do I get the green arc measure? Simple. I'll call it X, okay? And then I have X equals 360 degrees minus 128 minus 144. And then I divide all that by 2, okay? Then I have that arc length. Oh, actually, I'm dividing X by 2, and that will give me B. Okay? Or let's look at it like that. Well, that's a quick way to put it in the calculator, but let's look at it differently because you may be going, what is she doing? Okay. First, let's get X. Okay. Let me show you what that is. And then to get the angle measure of B, we will take the value of X and divide that by 2. Okay? All right, so let's do that. 360 minus 144 minus 128 equals 88. Okay, so we know X equals 88. Divide that by 2, and we have 44 degrees, which is option B. Perfect. Now we can move on. Number 4, using the figure below, if angle J is 45 this is 45 degrees, and KM is 70 degrees. What is the measure of KL? Okay, so let's make KM green, and our yellow would be our well, that's our largest arc. So then KM is really what they need us to look for. So let's go ahead and make it a nice thick pink. Okay. So what do I really need to do? Well, I have a way of finding the yellow arc, and we're going to call that, sorry about that. We will call that X. So let's go ahead and call that guy X. So we'll use the same method we were using before. We have X minus 70. Divide all that by 2, and we know that equals 45. So to get X, we know we have 45 times 2 minus 70. Okay? All right, so let's put that in the calculator. 45 times 2, and we subtract. Uh-oh, we add, add 70. Okay, that's 160. So up here, that's 160. So we have an arc of 160 degrees and another one of 70 degrees. Well, it's not a big deal to get the arc KM. So we know that KL, arc KL will equal 360 degrees minus 160, which is 200, then minus 70. And we know, we don't even need the calculator, that will be 130 degrees, option A. We can put in the calculator. 360 minus 160 minus 70 equals 130 degrees. Okay, so let's look at number 5. Now, there are some particular things going on. I need you to notice. Let's compare from number 4 we just did and number 5. For number 4, we have that. Let me get our yellow highlighter. J is external, where this dot, well, we're dealing with angle L and K are internal. So let me read the question. Using the figure below, if angle L equals 124 and arc VW equals 76 degrees, what is the measure of X dy, arc X dy? So I will label that arc. Well, VW, just to be consistent with what we've been doing, that'll be our green arc. Then our yellow arc will be the larger arc, okay? All right, so we have some measurements that we can put in. So we know this larger arc. Oh, every time it moves, you think I'd learn how to not make it move. Okay, look carefully. Yeah. Uh-oh. Now I've touched the wrong thing again. Okay, let's see if I cannot do that. 76 degrees is our green arc, okay? We do not know our yellow arc. Our yellow arc is what we're looking for. However, we do know that L is 124 degrees. Well, because of the properties of intersecting lines, we know that Z is 124. Well, what does that get us? Well, it gets us a way to get the, let's see, we need X. It gets us a way to get our X. So our yellow is equal to X, okay? Well, it's a lot like what we've been doing, just a tad different, because our point is not on the outside of the circle like J. Our point is inside the circle. So we say x plus 76. We add when our intersecting line, where our lines come together, is inside the circle. Divide by 2, and that equals 124, which of course gives us a way to find our value of x, which is 124 times 2. Oh, I need to move my x. Let's put him somewhere else. Let's put him. Okay, that didn't help. Nothing I'm doing is helping. Okay. And then we subtract 76. So let's put that in the calculator. And you know that we're multiplying right here. Okay, so 124. Oh, I didn't use my parentheses. Parentheses. 124 times 2. And now we will subtract 76, push enter, 172, and that is the correct option. Okay, that is the last question for this video. And once again, please share us, like us, and subscribe if you haven't so we can keep more materials coming and keep them free. Okay, happy testing!